What's Johnny doing out on a Tuesday night? Johnny can't read. Johnny can't write. Kids just don't understand. Johnny don't care about the world as long as he can do his girl and prove that he's a man. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I needed something to talk about, and there wasn't anything new that I really felt like watching, and I just decided that I needed to go back and watch something old. And what inspired me to go watch this movie was this picture. I don't remember who posted it on Twitter, but and I'd seen it before, and it always cracked me up because for a second you're fooled that is Chris Cornell. But then you realize, oh, it's Steve Buscemi, and it's hilarious because what really tips you off is, that's Adam Sandler. It doesn't look like the lead singer of Pantera at all. So, but anyway, I decided to go and watch Airheads. Airheads is a movie that I've loved for a long time. I saw it when it came out on video. It came out in 1994. And it's just a movie I've loved ever since then. It's a silly and stupid movie, but man, do I enjoy watching it. I will warn you, there's going to be spoilers in this review. That being said, it's from 1994, and if you really don't want anything spoiled, I recommend it. It's a cheap rental. It's silly, it's dumb, but man, it's got a lot of talented people in it. And it's just a really fun movie. What this movie is about is you've got a band, a three-man band called the Lone Rangers, and they're trying to make it big. They're trying to get their song to be heard. They're trying to get that demo tape to be heard so that way they can get a record deal and become famous. We don't really have reasons for most of the characters other than we just want to be rock stars. But Brendan Fraser's character, Chaz, he wants to be able to take care of his girlfriend. She's been taking care of him this whole time, even though he puts his foot in his mouth a lot. He's been taking care of her, or she's been taking care of him, so he wants to take care of her, become famous, and take care of her. So when he tries to do things like break into a record company and get the demo in there, but they can't take it. Then he gets the bright idea after going to another local band who became famous. They got a record deal by getting their song played on the radio. So he gets a bright idea breaking into a radio station and seeing if the DJ will play his song. So they do break in, but what happens is they get caught, and then Steve Buscemi's character Rex, who is a bit of a wild card, he gets the bright idea to pull a gun and take people hostage until they play the song. Now, it's not a real gun because we find out that Rex works at a toy store and he five-finger discounts pretty much the whole place, and some of the things he took home were guns that looked too real. So these guns don't have the little orange tips on them or nothing. They're all black and they look real, even though, of course, they're water pistols. He fills them up with hot sauce, and that does come into play a couple times later. One for a dinner and one to stop somebody. But anyway, they take the radio station hostage. This hostage situation goes over the air, and the police show up, and that's where everything goes crazy. They try to get their demo played, but the tape gets eaten. It's on a reel-to-reel, and it ends up burning up. So they have to get the last remaining tape, which, of course, is with Chaz's girlfriend, who is really mad at him, and she threw it out and has to go find it. There's a whole story, but this story is about them trying to get their demo played on the air and become famous. All the while, the record industry is kind of against them. The head of the radio station is kind of against them, and also the radio station head, played by Michael McKean, has secrets that he's keeping from everybody else, everyone that works at the radio station. And then also while you have the good cop played by Ernie Hudson. Oh, and his underling played by Chris Farley, who is awesome in this. What little bit he's in it. You also have the bad cop, who ends up having a personal vendetta against one of the characters. For let's just say this character cleaned his wife's pool. We'll just say that. You also have Michael Richards in this, who works at the radio station. They don't know he's in there, and he is the one feeding information to the quote-unquote bad cop, who ends up having the vendetta. So anyway, all right, this movie for me, it means a lot to me, and not like this big total serious. It affected me in so many ways, types of movies. But I mean, growing up, I was a lot different. I was kind of the outcast. People made fun of me for the dumbest stuff, which a lot of people do. But this movie really talked to me, because what you have is a character in Chaz who we find out more about him as the movie goes. The bad cop kind of brings everything to light, trying to bring down their little party hostage situation. Chaz is, of course, his real name isn't Chaz, and you come to find out that he was a big geek, and he has to admit it to like the crowd that is gathered at the radio station. But the scene that really gets me is because Chaz is talking about that my name's Chester. I was a big geek in high school. I played Dungeons and Dragons, but I was connected to this music and all that, and that was me. I was just this. I found things that really talked to me, but I still loved things like geeky stuff, and I still do. I don't get to play Dungeons and Dragons or anything anymore, but I still have a connection to it. I still have a connection to characters and things like that. Well, anyway, and what's great is the crowd are just like, and again, this was back in the mid-90s. The crowd is just like one of the guys says, I played D&D too, and then a great cameo, Lemmy Kilmister, who they actually mentioned Lemmy just not too long before that. Lemmy Kilmister's like, I was editor of the school newspaper, and the crowd just like, you know what, we were quote unquote geeks too, and it's cool. We still love you. We're with you. And that scene really meant a lot to me. But just all in all, though, the movie's very funny. You have a very talented cast. And again, you have a great cameo by Lemmy, because they have this whole thing where the cops try to send somebody in, an undercover cop in, and they trick him with a Lemmy question, and it was kind of funny. But you have a colorful cast of characters inside of this radio station. Again, your assailants are Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler. The head of the radio station is played by Michael McKean. You have David Arquette in there. You have Reggie Cathy, who is hilarious. Joe Mantegna is the big rock DJ. Again, Ernie Hudson and Chris Farley are the quote-unquote good cops. Marshall Bell is the bad cop. You have a real quick, and of course this brings back MTV memories for me. You have Kurt Loder show up to do a report, even though it's just like for a one-line joke. One of the best things to see, though, is the undercover cop they try to sneak in is Harold Ramis, and it was really neat to see him pop up in a movie again. Of course, I'm going to miss him when the new Ghostbusters movie come out, even though they've kind of made the story about his family. One weird, definitely very of the time cameos was Mike Judge over the telephone playing Beavis and Butthead. So that was kind of funny. But it's just definitely of a time, a joke that, not a lot of people would maybe even get nowadays. But yeah, all in all, this movie is just a silly, stupid adventure of three rock stars that are trying to become famous and do it in a very, very crazy way. But it's also takes a shot at the music industry, that they're kind of parasites and they don't really care about the stars that they're building. They just care about the money. So it's all about the integrity of the rock music. And again, with the scenes, like I described earlier, this movie is just a lot of fun for me. It's silly, it's stupid, and if you haven't seen it, I still recommend it. I have a good time with this movie. It really spoke to me back then, and watching it again, I had not seen it in a long time. I used to watch it maybe once or twice a year there for a while. I haven't seen it in a while, and I picked it up again. And again, it's a cheap rental if you really want to see it. But I recommend this one. It's silly and stupid, but man, do I love this movie. It's Airheads. I love it, and I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, that's going to be all for this review. Rock on.